Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you decided to join me. Today I'm going to be doing what I wish I knew before I had a baby. So if you're a new or expecting mom or even a seasoned mom, I think you might want to listen to this. So jumping right into the video, if you're new here, I am Rajanee. I'm a wife and a mother to two children. Our daughter, our baby girl, she is just turned 7 and our son is 3 years old. So I have a little bit of time on my belt, but I promise I wish I knew these things before I had kids, but reality hits you when you actually experience it. And, I hope that this can encourage you or help you along your way if you're a new or expecting mom. So first thing of advice that I have that I wish that I knew was your life will never be the same. I know this can sound very daunting, but I truly embrace the change and I encourage you to do the same. Your life would never be the same. It's something that I can't really explain it until you actually experience it for yourself. But embrace the change. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but motherhood is something that I would never take for granted. And I'm so grateful that the Lord chose me to be my children's mom. But I would just say your life will never be the same. It's going to be a new change and a good change, but just understand that it would never be the same. Another thing that I wish that I knew is postpartum and all the emotions and everything that comes along with it. When I say that I had no idea what to expect, even with, all the reading and doing your research on, our favorite Google, it just cannot prepare you what postpartum is. Just a little bit of background with my daughter. I never knew that I would experience constipations or even hemorrhoids. I never knew how bad it can be. It can be very painful. So I knew what to expect going in the second time with my son. But just the emotions that you experience postpartum. And I know with my son, I even experienced night sweats. And when I tell you I was not expecting that, being a second time mom around, I just knew okay, I can kind of, this is what's expecting this. But I never knew how much of my hormones will be out of whack until I had my second child, my son, and experienced the night sweat. So that is one thing that I wish I knew, was just my hormones will be truly out of whack. And then I also didn't realize when I had my son that I actually experienced postpartum depression with my daughter. I just truly didn't understand or realize what feelings that I was having, and didn't really do much research on it, being a new first time mom with her. But I realized with my son that I was truly experiencing postpartum depression. So I really truly take a look into what all the signs and symptoms with that. And it's totally normal, but you are not alone. If you experience postpartum depression, it's something that, it's kind of taboo that others really don't talk about, or you might be embarrassed, but just know that it is nothing to be embarrassed about, that we all experience. And just be honest with yourself, because motherhood is something that we don't have a handbook for, and you just truly learn as you go. So just, if you're experiencing those type of emotions, just find somebody that you're comfortable with to really talk about those emotions. And that ties me into my next point, is ask for help using the village around you if you have one. Sometimes, we be honest, it can be hard to ask for help. I know for myself, I am a person that I like to get it done. I really don't really ask for help, but that is one thing that I would truly recommend and tell myself before I had children, was to ask for help and utilize the help around you. If you look around you, people want to help you, and sometimes they might not even ask or don't know how to assist with helping you, but just truly ask for help. When you need it, if you need to take a nap, I go back to when I had my daughter, and we would live with my parents, and I'm just so grateful, for that time frame, because I had help. I truly had help with my daughter. Being a new parent, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. I'm the oldest of 5, so I had some clue of how to do it. But when you truly have your own child, it's a different ballpark. So I really utilized my help. Sometimes it was a little hard. Sometimes you're just like, oh, mom, I got this. But sometimes you don't. If you be honest, you don't got it. So use the help around you. I can recall one time where I just asked my sister, can you just take her? I just wanted to take a nap. I gave her a bottle, gave her a diaper. And I'm like, I'll be back in an hour. I literally went in the room and went to sleep probably for 2-3 hours because I was just that exhausted. So I would just truly say, use the people around you. Another thing that I wish that I knew before I became a mom is breastfeeding is different for everybody. When I tell you that breastfeeding is truly a journey and it is not for the faint at heart, I will tell you it can be very challenging. For some people it comes very easy, for others it's very difficult and you have to work at it. I know they talk about the chapped nipples and nipples bleeding and baby not latching properly and all these things, but you really have to work at breastfeeding if it doesn't come easy. For me, with my daughter, with being a new parent, I had no clue how challenging breastfeeding, how demanding breastfeeding could be. With her, I lasted about 2 months and I just I just couldn't handle, like mentally, I just couldn't handle the demand of breastfeeding and being a new mom, knowing how to take care of her. I just couldn't mentally do it. So after 2 months, we decided to formula feed her. And when I tell you, it helped me tremendously because we just going through a lot of changes at that time with staying with my parents and, everything else. And it was truly challenging. So I'm glad that we did, switch her to formula because it helped me mentally. And sometimes, that can be a taboo subject as well because everybody just say, oh, breastfeeding is best, this and that. But fed is truly best. And your mental health is definitely important when it comes to being a new parent or just being, yourself in general. So I would say breastfeeding is a different journey for everybody, and do what's best for you. With my son, I was very determined to do it, and he latched right away, and I had no issues, and I breastfed him all the way until 18 months when he self-weaned himself. So I would truly say it's a different journey for everybody. Another thing that I wish that I knew before I had a baby is you're going to hear a lot of advice and opinions from other fellow moms, and that's okay. I will say that you will find the groove in what works for you. Don't get discouraged if you hear all these horror stories because motherhood for everybody is totally different. So, you take the good, you leave out the bad, and you just keep it pushing because you're going to hear a lot. You're going to hear a lot of advice of what you shouldn't do and do, but just sometimes just tune it out, just like, yeah. Okay, but keep it going and do what works best for you and your baby. And that ties me in to my next point, which is mom instincts are real. When you become a mom and you see that little baby in your arms, you're going to figure out the personality and what works and what doesn't work. So you're going to know what works best for your baby. So even with all the opinions, you're going to get some good and some bad. Use the good, take that good and, do your research. But at the end of the day, you're going to figure out what works for you and your baby. So I would just say, keep it going, don't take those mom instincts for granted. They're there for a reason. So just use them while you have them. Another point that I have that I wish I knew is every baby is different, and not to put expectations on that child based off a previous child or, children that you might have cared for in your past. For me, being pregnant twice and having a boy and girl, I truly thought that I knew how my son was going to be, but he truly showed me that every child is different. Even if you do the same exact thing, they might be, their personality is different. So it's going to be different for each child. So try not to, put those expectations on that child because sometimes you'll get let down. So just know that every child is different and what works for one child might not work for the other. So, and I tell you, that second child syndrome is truly true in my case. My son is like a ball of energy. He is truly different from my daughter. We jokingly called him the Sour Patch Kid because sometimes he's sweet and sometimes he's sour. But at the end of the day, you gotta love him because he is just, cute as buttons. But, he give us a run for our money. And the last thing that I wish I knew is motherhood is truly a journey. It is the most hardest, most rewarding thing that I have ever experienced, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I would say embrace every change that you go through. Embrace every, sleepless nights because everything is such a phase with these babies. And sometimes you're really going to miss it because I can't even lie that I miss the little moments that I had with nursing my children because they're older now. So it's much different. And you miss the little, I miss the little smells, I miss the little bitty clothes. And, I just miss those stages. But with them getting older, I embrace the new changes that's come about with them and with them growing. So I would just say embrace every change because everything, like I said, everything's a phase. And love them, love the phase of them being a baby because eventually they grow up and, they're not going to be on your lap, they'll be in your heart. So, just embrace every moment, every minute that you have with your children. Trying to rush it. I am a victim of trying to rush, like, oh, I can't wait till they do this or do that. And I wished I didn't do that, and I learned with my second child just to enjoy every moment that I have with them. So I'm so grateful that you guys stuck to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and even join our family. We would love to have you. If you would like to see more of these videos or any video suggestions, please leave them down in the comments down below. And until next time, be safe.